Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be comparing a Honda Civic to a Toyota Corolla to see which economy car is best. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larich Miller Toyota here in Murray and to the Larich Miller Honda here in Murray for providing me with both of the vehicles. I'll include a link to both their websites in the description down below so you can check out what inventory they currently have. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood of the Corolla is a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT automatic. Fuel economy is 30 around town and then 38 on the highway, with power outputs being 169 horsepower and then 151 pound-feet of torque. Under the hood of the Civic is a turbo 1.5-liter 4-cylinder that also goes through a CVT. Fuel economy is 31 around town and then 39 on the highway, with power outputs being 180 horsepower and then 177 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you're going to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the front end of the Corolla, sportiness is the theme with this car. You can see with the sharp headlight design, and notice how the grille is actually painted all blacked out too. And then I love the white metallic paint. Both these actually have the same kind of like theme when it comes to the paint, both with metallic flake. Now, when it comes to the Civic theme-wise, it's kind of more luxury. Notice how the headlight design is a little bit more open, a little bit boxier, and you can see here with the hood, less angular with the front end, and so you kind of have more of a luxury theme versus more of a sporty theme. Now, around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 225/40/18 in the front and over in the rear, and you can see with the wheels, darker with the coloration here on the Corolla. And then we take a few steps back. This one is the hatchback. So you've got that kind of like traditional hatch design here with the Corolla. Now with the Civic, our tire wheel setup is 215/50/17 on the front and over in the rear. And again, more of kind of like a luxury theme with the wheels, and also you got like the silver trim. And speaking of luxury theme, this has a not so traditional hatchback design. Just look at the sloping there in the back. And the Civic is a longer car compared to the Corolla, and you can really see it with the side profile. Now, taking a look at the key fobs, we've got lock and unlock functionality with both of them. And then notice the Civic also has the remote start with it as well. And again, you can see with the Toyota key fob utilitarian, whereas the Civic a little bit more upscale. Now, popping into the rear of the Civic, we actually have this cargo cover built in from the factory that goes across. Pretty cool design. But yeah, hatchbacks are really cool because of the practicality, right? You've got a little bit more vertical space compared to, you know, a regular sedan. And when we're all done, the Civic has this nice handle, which helps you so you can kind of plop that down. I did not get that down all the way. There we go. Now with the Corolla, again, this is a slightly smaller car, and you can see the difference with the storage space in the back of the Corolla. Cargo cover is tied in there, so kind of a more traditional cargo cover design. And then they do give you handles just like the Civic, which, yeah. And then finishing things up with the rear, you can see how the Civic kind of comes to like a rounded point here. On the back end, it has that interesting light bar design. Whereas with the Corolla, again, it's more of a traditional hatchback design. You can see the bumper pops out quite a bit from the hatch, versus with the Civic, not as much. And it's painted there, whereas with the Corolla, it's not. So that gives the appearance of the Corolla that it is larger as well. But anyways, let me know which rear end you like best. Now, in the back of the Civic, I'm actually pretty dang comfortable, and nice material use on the door panel back here as well. Speaking of nice material use, look at these seats here, perforated all down the center, and then headroom back here, it's also good. Now, in the back of the Corolla, it's a little bit of a tighter fit, and I don't feel like I'm in as much of a lounge type position as I was in the Civic. And then you guys can see, again, nice material use here on the door panel. And then these seats are pretty interesting. You can see with the soft touch, and then you got like the cloth inserts here as well. And then when it comes to headroom, it's a little bit less, but still pretty similar. And starting up the Civic here, pretty cool. Nice trim on the door panel here and down below. And again, it has kind of like a more luxury-based theme. Automatic for window controls. Blind spot mirroring with the mirrors. And then taking a look at the steering wheel, I mean, look at the soft touch trim all around. Got the nice stitching there. Helps out like adaptive cruise control. Got this gauge cluster that has the digital element there. And you can see different bits of vehicle information with that. And then in reverse, got a regular old backup camera. And then as for the infotainment system, you've got some physical controls. This is kind of Honda's smaller unit. And then we do have stuff like heated seats, dual zone climate with this as well. And again, look at the finish on the controls, and then also with the vent. And then there's more soft touch on the dash. This is our little charging area down below. And then you can see the shifter here with your sport mode. You got an econ mode as well with the auto stop start, parking brake, brake hold. And then again, just if you look at the trim here, it's kind of almost like the Audi-esque in a way, and then nice soft touch in the center console as well. And then the Civic does come with a sunroof. And starting up the Corolla. Again, soft touch here. But again, notice with the theme of it, I would say kind of like more utilitarian, more sporty. Still blind spot warning, still have adaptive cruise control with steering assist, and so safety tech is very similar with both the cars. And the new Corolla has this nice digital gauge cluster here in the center. I think the resolution on it's really good. And then backup camera just like the Civic, so same there. And then as for the infotainment system, this one's more full-on touchscreen compared to what you have there on the Civic. The Civic's a touchscreen, but you can see this is just a little bit more. Only have the physical volume control. You've got dual zone climate. You've got heated seats here with this wireless phone charging pad as well. See the drive mode select here. Got sport mode, normal, eco. Then shifter there for the CVT. Got your auto hold here, parking brake, some cup holders. Center console is definitely smaller. Got the padding there though. Nice trim on the dash here as well. So I'd say that like material wise, the theme looks different, but like it's material wise, yeah, just as nice as the Civic. Glove box there, no sunroof in this. Now when it comes to pricing as equipped, this Civic stickers for about $30,000 and then that Corolla stickers for about $28,000. So not the exact same price, but they're close enough, right? Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, do a blind spot warning throughout the rest of the rear, and well, let us set off in the Corolla, the car that rolls. Yeah, power seats, it's nice. These are pretty comfortable. This is interesting. What I've discovered is a lot of people in the past, you know, Corolla, Civic, constantly comparing them, but now that the Civic's like bloated up a bit, right? It's a bit of a bigger car size-wise. Seems like, you know, there's a little bit less comparison with them, but they're still competitors, right? They're still in the same segment here. That's cool with the little chase rack there, and that sport bar, I think is what they call it, that brand. But let's kind of punch it a little bit here. CVT seems to be pretty responsive for a CVT at least. It's nice. Pop it into the sport mode here. Brakes are very progressive, like it's a nice progression with the pedal. It makes the car easy to drive. Steering's also really light. Again, for an economy car, it gets up and moves. It'll be interesting to see how the Civic compares when it comes to acceleration. But so far in the Corolla, this drives like what you think a hatchback is going to drive like. It's got like a lightweight, zippy feel to it. It's not the fastest thing on the planet, but it can, you know, it can get out of its own way for the most part. And it's comfortable. This new Corolla it's nice. Toyota has definitely upscaled the Corolla. You can tell that, I think this is in response to Honda making the Civic more upscale. You can tell they're using much nicer materials, lots of soft touch trim throughout, to kind of make this feel like a more premium vehicle. And again, I really do think that's in response to Honda with the new Civic, which again, that's why you gotta love competition. It makes everyone better at the end of the day. So with that being said, let's go from this Corolla and pop over into that Civic and see which one's best. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, do a blind spot warning throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let us set off in the Civic. So I will tell you, completely different feel right off the bat. does feel like a bigger car. So I guess those of you that are looking for like a sportier feel, right, this is not going to be the case. Still has power seat though, which is nice. In terms of seat comfort, I think they're both comfortable. I don't really have a preference one or the other over the other. Powertrain feels significantly different. So this being turbocharged, you do feel like you get a little bit more of a punch right off the bat. It does have more power and more torque, but it is a bigger car too. Yeah, a little more comfortable with the suspension. So, and again, a big part of that's just the size. This is a larger car, so it does larger car stuff, basically. CVT smooth. Yeah, it does kind of feel a little bit more powerful. I mean, again, it does have more horsepower, more torque, but it's perceivable. Yeah, this is crazy. Usually cars that are in the same segment, you know, there'll be some differences, but there'll be a lot of overlap. It feels like a pretty big difference between these two. Like, this just feels completely different in terms of just the drive, the theme, all of it is so much different compared to what you have with the Corolla. So yeah, to cap things off, as weird as this sounds, if you want more of a, I'm not talking about the interior, because I think the interiors on both of them are nice, build quality wise, material wise, but if you want more of a luxury kind of experience, then that's what the Civic provides. If you want kind of a sportier feel, then the Corolla has that sportier, kind of more traditional hatchback feel, whereas this is kind of like a more new school hatchback, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense.